Chapter 1. The Problem Child or the Problem of the Child? No matter how deeply we try to forget our childhood memories, no matter how hard we try to convince ourselves that we have grown up and that the past is past and it's time to move on, our childhood helps to define our attitudes towards life. Every child on Earth needs a normal childhood to be a normal adult. A child needs a mother to give him love, care, and understanding. A child needs his father to give him social security, protection, and to help him learn to stand on his own feet. What happens if something goes wrong? We see the results all around us. Nowadays, parents are busier making money than looking after their children. The underlying assumption is just fulfill their basic needs and the rest they can figure out when they grow up. Sometimes you see plants in the fields with sticks tied with their stems in order to help them grow straight. Once they grow up, not even the farmer can change their direction. The same thing happens with human beings. Our childhood leaves deep scars on our personality which will be very difficult to remove after we have grown up. I said difficult, but not impossible. I have read several people's testimony about their anger, and the common factor in their stories, I noticed, is a lack of hope for the future and a disappointment in life as it is now. You should know that human beings are more complicated and complex than plants, and there is no medically identified principle about them that can measure their ability of tolerance and revival. The Case Study. I have read a testimony of a girl about her family. She wrote that, "I have only lived for 19 years. I constantly feel angry, and I don't know what to do about it. I write and draw pictures and try to be myself because I know I won't be stupid to myself. I hate both my brothers because they're very arrogant and think the world is theirs. My mother becomes angry at everything, and my father is crazy. I'm very unhappy here. My oldest sister had to leave to save her sanity." Do you understand the problem here? Instead of her home being a happy and secure place, there is strife and pain. Not only does she not trust her parents, but she also does not like her brothers. In this case, her family is totally responsible for her miserable feelings. Sometimes, when children or teens begin to feel isolated and misunderstood, the other members of their family reason their feelings away, thinking that these feelings are the result of some weird teenage trauma, delusions, or just attention-seeking tactics. Unfortunately, those feelings of isolation and being misunderstood are 100% true and based on reality for that teen. Children are born with different potentials of giving love and demanding love. Some children get love and acceptance from their parents, which should be how things normally proceed in the life of a child. Some get their validation and love from their siblings, some from their friends and people in their social circle. But if you did not get love and acceptance from your parents, you have to go through a long process to come to terms with what went wrong in your childhood. The first thing that you should know, before trying any techniques or medications to control your anger, is that you are not alone in this quest. Thousands of people are worrying and searching for the answers of their own unpredictable and uncontrollable emotional outbursts. But even after tremendous effort to find those answers, they have nothing more than impractical advice which has not helped them in the least. What people really need is insight to help them discover their triggers, as well as someone to believe in their sanity and goodness. In the above case, the girl is suffering because she has a different love-demanding potential than the rest of her family. So, the most basic question that you may have asked yourself is, why is she the only one who is suffering in the household? The answer is very simple. The girl does not know that the other members of the family are also suffering. Also, they may be dealing with their pain by lashing out at others. As I said before, everyone has different potentials of giving and demanding love. Similarly, people also have different ways of handling pain. Some people turn their anger inward. Others lash out at people they perceive as weaker when they are hurt and in pain. This may be a conscious or unconscious process. 9 out of 10 times that weaker person will be a brother or sister in the family or a lonely classmate. Emotions are not a problem, reactions are. But people who usually choose this path do not always have lack of concern for others. If you are overly concerned about the people around you, you will suffer more because you are unable to let out your frustrations. Whether concerned about people or not, when a person faces an unreasonable or bullying attitude in his childhood for a very long time, he may hold the anger inside. Eventually, he becomes like a volcano full of lava that can explode at any time. Unfortunately, the longer you try to restrain the lava, the deeper it goes. Eventually, the volcano will explode, and once it does, it will keep exploding for a long time. My chest is boiling with anger and frustration, just like a volcano. You know that it is very difficult to stop a volcano. The best thing to do is to deal with your anger before it builds up. You may choose to stop exercising excessive control over your emotions because your emotions are not the problem at all. The problem is excessive and unreasonable anger. Sometimes it helps to lower your expectations. You may choose to lighten your burden by simply practicing tit for tat. The rule is simple: do not take on any more burdens than you can carry. Likewise, set up boundaries and do not tolerate poor behavior. If a person is bullying you and you are getting angry, the best thing to do is to give them an answer in the same way they talk to you. I know it will be difficult, but if you choose to remain silent or walk away, like I did in my childhood, you may think that is the easy way out, but you are choosing a very difficult path, which will mean much suffering for yourself. When you do not deal with the issue, you bottle it up inside of you. You will keep replaying the hurtful scenes over in your mind and remembering. Those memories are what will cause your anger if you keep them inside. When the burden of dealing with the memories becomes too much to carry, you will start to explode on the wrong people, the people who have never done anything wrong to you. Now, you may be thinking that, what difference does it make whether you are letting your anger out on the people who deserve it or not? Trust me, it makes a very big difference. When you get angry on an innocent person, your conscience monitors it and a small voice inside your head keeps reminding you that you were wrong and unjust. By bursting on an innocent person, you will never ever lessen your burden. Instead, you will bring another burden of remorse upon yourself. But if you get reasonably angry with a person who really did something wrong to you, your self-esteem will be increased, and you will also be saved from carrying terrible memories. The most basic advantage of using this method will be that the bullying person will never again try to bully you again. Just think about it. 5 minutes of a reasonable outburst on the deserving person is better than carrying a painful memory for the rest of your life, and most certainly is better than exploding on innocent people. Always remember that reasonable anger is not wrong. As I previously said, anger is not some abnormal emotion. It is just like any other emotion. But if you become angry about minor life issues, or if you become angry with people who did nothing wrong to you, then this is unreasonable. If this happens, you need to work to get control of your anger. The problem begins with the registry of undesirable events in the subconscious part of the mind. No matter how hard we try to forget the bad memories, they are still there. The majority of people usually think that we are forgiving by nature. What we overlook is that this is the conscious part of our mind, also known as the part of our mind that we can control, wants to reassure us of our goodness and reasonableness. The subconscious part of our mind, or the part that we cannot control, is full of wild desires that stimulate us to do things that we do not understand at times. Now, the first question that has come to your mind is, what is your subconscious mind?